Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Garrett the Cage, and welcome back to Metal Gear Survive on the Xbox One X. Last time, we officially pinned the Lord of Dust and had to defend the blades themselves from being attacked and from hundreds and hundreds of wanderers. Pretty stressful situation, but now we're up getting ready to fire the railgun and kill the Lord of Dust. Oh, let's get it going.
I can no longer acquire the target by myself.
Captain, you'll have to do it for us.
Aim for where its shell is thinnest. That's where it's the weakest.
The railgun takes some time to reload, so keep that in mind.
Oh, crap. I thought I was just pointing there and... My bad. It has to actually target that spot.
Just a moment. I'm still getting energy readings from the Lord of Dust.
Oh.
It's doing something!
What is going on?
Look! That wormhole!
What's going on?
Everyone, listen up. There is only one way to defeat the Lord of Dust. After running an analysis on the phenomenon we've witnessed just now, one significant problem has
It
come
can
to
heal
light.
itself.
The Dread Dust didn't begin their existence as organic life. Therefore, they have no concept of death. They began as nanomachines. As long as they have no concept of their own death, they will not cease to function. This appears to be the reason why it has been impossible to destroy them.
I'm just gonna ask you point blank. Is there really a way to beat this thing?
Yes, but before I elaborate, please listen to this.
Okay.
We don't have time for this shit.
We don't have time for this shit. I can almost hear Reeve when this message starts. I can empathize, because I'm sure you're still in the middle of the battle. But I need you to listen to me. This really will be my final message to you. Consider it my last will and testament. First of all, Reeve, before I continue...
Really? We're going through this right now?
We really don't have time for this. Captain, try hitting it with the railgun again. We can't...
I let you down. I spent 30 years trying, but in the end, I couldn't get you out of that place. Please, please forgive me.
Let me down. No. You're...
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh my god!
Day 30 years ago, when the captain got me to the wormhole above base camp and I made it home. But I couldn't have expected what happened next. Instead of going back to 1980, I I ended up in Philadelphia in 1943, in the skies above the USS Eldridge. Wardenclyffe section hadn't been around that long, and this was their first full-blown test of the wormhole teleportation. And so I, descending from the skies, became the greatest achievement of the Philadelphia experiment. For the next several years, I was the section's little plaything. But over time, I rose to the rank of researcher and gained more influence in the section. And what supported my research was the device that you, Reeve, gave to me. I quickly became one of the leading scientists in my field. But most of my work was simply me recreating what I'd seen on the device. It wasn't because I was smarter than anyone else. I discovered absolutely nothing. But I was fine with that. I wasn't after fame or fortune. I wanted to atone for what I had done to all of you, what I had done to the world. Thus, the gates of hell were flung open. Though my own personal hell wasn't D-Day, but back here, in reality. For 30 years, I have sacrificed everything to prepare. All these preparations for this one fleeting moment. When you hear this, the Lord of Dust will likely have already opened his door to the past. Captain, it's all up to you and the others. History, the survival of mankind, depends on whether or not you can pull this off. I'm counting on you, heroes without names. The future is in your hands.
That is Good Luck's final message.
Chris.
Virgil, tell me something. How do we destroy this thing?
There is only one way.
Okay, then what is it?
I must become one with the Lord of Dust and reveal the concept of death to all Dread Dust.
Once this has happened, fire the railgun at the Lord of Dust and me.
Okay.
Seth, a human being, understood death, the dread dust that infected him. Because it was so dependent on the properties of its host, when Seth's body was destroyed, so was the dust within him. I will do the same thing to the Lord of Dust.
But Virgil, if you do that, you'll...
I am ready for that.
Do you even understand what death is?
At the very least, I have developed my own interpretation of it.
I have spent a long time with the Karen Corps, the captain, and all of you.
I mean, death is just a concept. I mean, it's how you interpret it sometimes.
I have
So-
realized that your existence is fragile and fleeting. And while the dread dust was eating away at me, I became aware of a concept, an aversion to my existence coming to an end. This could even be called fear. Existence is finite, life is precious, and death is sorrowful. Captain, is my understanding correct?
I mean, that's
Then
pretty
I
spot
think
on.
We have a plan. This truly will be the final battle. The meaning of life, the reason for death, the value of existence. I will teach these to the dust. I will teach them everything I learned having to survive in this world with all of you.
Okay.
I am ready to do this.
We leave the rest of the work to you.
There is no more time.
Goodbye, everyone.
I designated myself as the target. You must do the rest. I truly enjoyed the time we spent together.
Oh.
You're not alone. Whatever the pain, we'll get through it together. You can do this, Captain.
My hat. I love my freaking hat. It's like, where did you get that hat? Yeah, I'm still bleeding. God, I had nothing left in throwables. That was rough last episode.
Thank you, Captain. I am grateful from the bottom of my heart for your resolve.
My mission is to support you. To help you is my desire.
Captain, let me help you. I feel the better
There we go.
Back to camp. Let's go home.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, that was Metal Gear Survive. And interesting. I don't know what to talk about, really. So let's start off with why people didn't like it. I understand this isn't a Metal Gear game. I definitely get it. And if you're a Metal Gear fan and this showed up on your doorstep, I can understand you being upset. I get that. Not going to support them for that. However, I see a lot of games doing spin-offs, and a zombie spin-off is not uncommon. And there were some good things as a zombie spin-off. So, overall, the graphics were pretty good. Very strong. The engine they use, I forget which engine it's called, the Wolf or something like that, not quite sure. It does a great job here. It shines really well for the darks, for the dirties, and just overall concept of everything. Also, when it comes to survival aspects, the gear, the base mechanics, the surviving aspect, it works really well. The food, water, and oxygen, while some people said that felt like it was more of a chore, that to me is no different than... Oh, what's happening?
Operational Support Program, Virgil AT-9, reboot complete. Revealing the concept of death to the Lord of Dust was a success. However, I myself survived the process. Though the destructive power of the railgun was extraordinary, as you can see, it didn't destroy me. It appears my body was built with the same materials used to construct nuclear blast shelters. According to my analysis, it was designed this way in case of nuclear war. This was quite a surprise. Also, the dread dust that had infected us has ceased functioning. As a result, my personalities have merged into one. So I should be able to provide you with firmer guidance from here on. Getting home may turn out to be a long paddle, but as they say, Captain, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Huh. Didn't expect that. Alrighty, guys. Well, let me finish off where I was. So, yeah, the survival aspect of it I thought worked very well, especially recently playing State of Decay 2. That kind of stuff can be a chore, but that's part of a survival game. And I thought that part really was good. Having to find dirty water and then having to boil it to make fresh water or drinkable water was a great concept. The combat, they wanted you to focus on melee stuff, and the gun was there for those tough moments. That stuff was great. And there were parts of the story that actually surprised me and were fairly well written. The unfortunate thing is, most of the other parts of it were pretty rough. The vocals were rough in some spots. Some of the characters were just uninspiring. And they wanted you to get to know these characters, but it didn't give you the right setup to get to know those characters. That was the downside. Like, you wanted to care for them, but there was really nothing that made you want to care for them. Even you being a voiceless protagonist was hard to get into sometimes. Overall, I also love the survival aspect of getting to pick up and destroy things. Not everything we ran into we could take for parts and use how we wanted. And that was awesome. I really liked that. When it comes to everything else, though, I can see again why people go meh with this game. I enjoyed it. When it was released, it was... Oh, Fox Engine. I was close. I said Wolf. It was the Fox Engine. This game released at $40 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I feel like they already knew ahead of time that this was not going to be a huge game for them, and that they probably would get some backlash. Nowadays, you can pick this up for $20 or less. I think it was up on Amazon the other day for like $12 at the time of this recording. For those prices, it's not bad. I enjoyed the survival aspect part. There were several times I got overwhelmed, and that's why I like the Wanderer concept. One-on-one, they could take you down if you don't have good enough armor, if you're not prepared. You know, bring up the walls and stuff was a cool concept. And I could see in multiplayer, while this would be with the mining situation, take this to the next level of defense and trying to protect yourself and protect other people and keep the digger going, things like that. But overall, single player worked fairly well. Put up a fence, and you know they had the mob mentality. Almost reminded me of like a Land of the Dead kind of thing, where they're banging against the fence and they're all grasping at you, trying to get to you, and you're trying to poke through there and kill them as you can. That was really a cool concept. And at the beginning, I wish that the jungle portion of the game would have happened a little more mid to the game instead of closer to the end, because it introduced a lot more characters and a lot more enemies. And that was great because it started getting a little stale close to the beginning of two kinds of enemies, of the Wanderer and then the Bloater. And getting to the jungle added, 4 or 5 kinds of enemy types. That was great because it made that a little more interesting. The dust, I liked the dust and I hated the dust, but I hated it because I liked it so much. Going out into the dust and getting lost was part of that survival aspect of being scared and worried, like, oh no, which way do I have to go? And okay, I can only take back so much stuff with me and having to do that. That was awesome. And again, there were several times that I relatively jumped at some of the jumps that they put in there of the wonders popping up and things. And on top of that, I just thought that their concept was okay. It wasn't bad. I've seen worse zombie types, but this was okay. And I think that it's at least worth a try if you're into survival games. I can respect you for being a Metal Gear fan and hating this game. I get that. But I love survival games, and that's why I mainly played this one. And to me, it was not a bad survival game. I paid $13 for this game, and I feel like I got $13 worth of value out of here. I feel like they also could have. Their writing was so good in some parts, like the twist with Good Luck, and a few of the other characters, but then everything else was just bad and just didn't flow right, and it was just like, ugh. Either way, it was worth it. I liked it. So I'm going to end it there, and hope to see you guys in another episode on another series. So thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give the video a like. It does help us out quite a bit. Also, check out the channel because we have tons of videos going on over there. And until next time, you guys, stay frosty.